Namaskar, Mona Barbara Wickham. I'm the Director of the British Council here in India and Minister Culture and Education Affairs representing Her Majesty's Government in India. Thank you so much for inviting me to today's event. For over a decade, we at British Council India have partnered with eSAIMUN International School in a mutually beneficial and valuable relationship. I had a very memorable visit to eSAIMUN International School last year with my colleague Debanjan Chakrabarti, who leads British Council's programme in East and North East India. And I'd like to congratulate again Dr. B.K. Sahu for establishing this world-class school in Bhubaneswar, which is now ranked among the top schools in the country. What struck me also was the value that the school placed on internationalism, not just in name, but in the truly global outlook that Dr. Sahu and his brilliant team brought to their vision and mission in embedding internationalism in the school's culture as well as the curriculum. No wonder then that eSAIMUN International School has been the recipient of our International School Awards since 2010. As the UK's global organisation for cultural and education affairs, internationalism is at the heart of what the British Council does. And even as I speak from the confines of my house in Delhi, you know I would much rather be part of a live MUN in Bhubaneswar than speaking to you remotely. Dealing with this extraordinary global crisis we find ourselves in, I'm reflecting on how our problems are pan-national ones that require international cooperation more than ever before. No wonder then that Prime Minister Modi said while launching the National Education Policy that the thrust of the new policy was to produce global citizens who are rooted in India's cultural heritage. At the British Council, our work is focused on delivering English language skills across education systems to support students on the path for global citizenship and preparedness for the uncertain times we're living in. Some of you may already know that we worked with 100 Odisha Adarsh Vidyalayas as part of the Mo School initiative, rolling out training to deliver better learning outcomes and improve English language skills for students studying in grade 9. So when I learned about the Model UN conference in your school, I felt excited that future leaders are connecting with issues of their generation. The fact that you're doing this with over 700 delegates from across India and 11 other countries is truly commendable. I'm reminded of the hugely successful Young Global Citizens Summit British Council organised in partnership with eSAIMUN International School in 2012. That ran for 3 days with over 150 schools and more than 500 students and teachers taking part from all over India with rich inputs from a number of UK organisations. So, to move to the topic for today's event, women in innovation and worldwide economic empowerment is one that you can be sure is very close to my heart, and I believe it all starts with education. At the British Council, we see issues of equality and diversity as a crucial aspect of our work in cultural relations. Gender rights, the rights of girls and women to have an equal opportunity to be educated and seek employment on equal terms, is central to British Council's work and cuts across all areas of our work in schools, higher education and the arts. We recognise empowerment as addressing the fundamental rights of women and girls, but we also believe that achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls has benefits for wider society. Reducing gender gaps in economic life, in leadership and decision-making, in education and in health improves the lives of men and boys as well as women and girls. Evidence shows that more gender-inclusive societies experience reduced levels of conflict, increased competitiveness and economic growth, and more representative governance. To that end, we've made a commitment at the British Council to improving gender access in all our programmes, projects and events, recognising that gender inequality limits opportunities and choices. Our work is aligned to the aims and aspirations of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education for all and promote lifelong learning opportunities. And Goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. In India, you've made great strides in this area by increasing enrolment at primary school from 86% in 1995 to 99% in 2012. However, it's estimated that only 1 in 100 girls is currently reaching class 12. A number of policies support the in-school education of girls. For example, the National Curriculum Framework states the importance of education as a tool of empowerment for girls in enabling them, and I quote, to overcome the disadvantages of unequal socialisation and enable them to develop their capabilities of becoming autonomous and equal citizens. The new education policy goes a step further and lists gender sensitivity in the lists of subjects to be integrated in the curriculum with essential subjects, skills and capacities. At the British Council, we work with partners from different sectors to influence institutional and organisational level policy and practice to create more opportunities for women and girls. Our programmes focus on 5 main themes. Firstly, increased awareness and agency of women and girls to help them make transformational changes in their lives. And we do that by providing access to such information and opportunities through our partnerships. Secondly, we know that fairer access to resources and opportunities to address structural inequalities that hamper women and girls' empowerment is really important. And we work through institutions such as eSAIMUN International School that can strengthen girls' and young women's opportunities and resources to gain skills and build their leadership capacity. A supportive legal and policy environment that enables access to resources, services and opportunities is a third area, and we work directly with policymakers and create partnerships with the state, civil society and private sector to influence the policy development and implementation process. Fourthly, we work to change attitudes, beliefs and practices and discriminatory social norms facilitated by the spaces and platforms we offer for the discussion on these areas, combined with our own recognition of the importance of agreed international conventions on human rights. The final area is dialogue, collaboration and collective action to support women's awareness, confidence and ability to change and improve their own lives. This includes both working with women and women's organisations and influence and building alliances with other stakeholders from the government, private sector and civil society. For example, we recently partnered with the Department of Science and Technology in India on a gender transformation programme for universities. This project draws inspiration from best practice in the UK and recognises and celebrates good practice in higher education and science and technology institutes towards the achievement of gender equality, and that means representation, progress and success for all. And since I'm speaking to students, let me highlight some of the exciting opportunities for further education in the UK based on examples of our work. The Newton Barber Women in Science programme, for example, in partnership with ISA Pune, aims to widen access and diversity in science-allied careers. And over the last 3 years, more than 300 women scientists have been trained in science administration and management and science journalism. As part of British Council India's 70th anniversary, over 160 Indian young women received scholarships to study a master's programme in STEM subjects at 44 UK institutions. Through this programme, we've supported women who are likely to become leaders in their fields over the next 20 years, and women who will become ambassadors for the educational relationships between Britain and India. So all of these programmes ensure that women and girls have access to opportunity and can effectively contribute to the worldwide economy. In closing, may I quote from the famous educationist Jean Piaget, who said, The principal goal of education is to create men and women capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done. So thank you again, Dr. Sahu, for inviting me to speak and making the British Council part of this MUN, where you've invited the world into your school. I wish this edition of MUN at SAI International School all the very, very best, and look forward to working with Dr. Sahu in his mission to take the excellence of this school to publicly funded schools in Odisha through the Adesh Vidyalaya scheme. And I also really look forward to having the opportunity in the future to visiting SAI International School and meeting you and your colleagues and all of the wonderful students sometime in the not too distant future, I hope. Thank you very much.